In this video, we are going to discuss Unit 9 of MSO 002 and I will discuss two questions, that is, describe historical context of comparative method and use nature, scope and dimensions of comparative method. You will also find some of the answers of the following questions in Unit 13, specifically in Unit 13, subtopic 13.5. We will discuss those topics while doing chapter 13. Now let's continue with the video. Evans Petrarch said that comparison is one of the essential procedure of all science and one of the elementary process of human thought. Macfarlane, in case of history, the comparison are usually in time in that of other social science, predominantly in space. Now let's see what's the history of comparative method. Comparative method as a designated method of social research was a product of 19th century sociology and social anthropology. In 19th century, it could be used for discovering scientific laws about human society and culture. Systematic comparison will establish regularities of coexistence and succession among the form of social life. Early sociologists such as Durkheim from France, Spencer from England, and Max Weber from Germany considered comparison to be one of the basic process of the way human beings think. Durkheim said that organic analogy, one of the example, that systematic use of comparative method gave an impetus to wide application in sociology during first half of 20th century. Max Weber was more concerned with meaning rather case and function of social phenomena. Early use of comparative method tied to the idea of a nature science of society. It was also tied to the theory of evolution. Bertelli said that comparative method required in its practitioner a certain detachment from their own society and culture that was not in historical method. Elements of comparative approach are as follows. First, comparative method had been used in sociology as a method of its natural practice. Second, scientists used it to give body to the explanation of social reality. Let's see some of the characteristics of comparative method. Many sociologists have argued, first, belief in the possibility of a natural science of society. Second, goal of detachment and uneasy link with theory of evolution. Third, influence of organic analogy, and many were faithful among the fourth characteristic, that is intent to have systematic comparison. There are some elements in comparative approach. The three of them are as follows. First, method of comparison. Second, the unit of comparison, and third is the purpose of comparative approach. In the method of comparison, Macfarlane said that comparison can be undertaken in numerous ways, each appropriate to its task, and one cannot lay down in advance which will be the best always alternative. Durkheim gave three types of approach, that is simple society, several society of similar nature which differ in certain mode, and several numerous societies of different nature that have identical feature. Single society at a given time and analysis the broad variation in particular mode of action or relationship occurring in society. Second, several society of similar nature which differ in certain mode of action or relationships we could compare either different and perhaps contemporaneous societies or the same society at different period if these exhibit some limited culture change happen. Several or numerous societies of different nature yet sharing similar or identical feature or different period showing radical change in the life of same society. Now let's talk about second element of comparative approach, that is the unit of comparison. Macfarlane said success of comparative method will depend on comparison of things that can be compared. Its features: first, unit compared are roughly of the same order of magnitude. Second, thing must be of same class or order. The selection of comparison is all important. The third element is purpose of comparative approach. Scientists considered comparative method as just one of the many tools in their kit. McFarlane suggests it helps to first distance the overfamiliar, second familiarize the distant, and third it make absence visible. Distancing the overfamiliar means to create a gap between oneself and the familiar thing so that one can see them in a different light. Familiarizing the distance means unfamiliar and distant things are either avoided or dismissed as irrational nonsense. And making absence visible means revealing the absence. We will discuss about the significance in Unit 13, and in next video we will talk about Unit 10, and we will see feminist approach, that is the most important question of MSO 002 because it's been asked for more than 7 times. We will see feminist approach, its feature, and how it contribute to study gender. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe and comment for any query.